republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you everyone for coming this evening in this wonderful winterland weather that we do have. A couple things that I do have to say is that this meeting is live streamed and available on YouTube and archived for those who want to watch it at a later date. This meeting is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting school board corporation's business. It is not to be considered a public community meeting. There will be time for public participation as indicated under other on the agenda. The meeting site is fully accessible. Any person requiring further accommodation should contact the superintendent at the school corporation's central office. Our mission is to educate, empower, and inspire excellence. With that being said, we will, there is a public comment form for those of you, if anybody would like to speak in the audience. It's over there by Mr. Elwood. Please fill out the form and return it in the same place. Next, we'll start with the student and staff presentations. Dr. Alanez?
Sure. We have the good news report. This will be the first time we've got students doing our video.
Hello. Yes. My name is Camille. I'm at the Portage High School West with the Good News Report. The Pride of Portage marching band competed at the Bands of American competition at state, both on the same day. While their scores are kept confidential, we congratulate them on a great season. Congratulations to Tommy Elwood on a cross-country season with a strong performance at semi-state. Congratulations also go to the girls cross-country team, who finished in 21st place at the state meet. The Portage High School JRTC recently competed at the Michigan City Drill Meet, placing first in armed and unarmed exhibition and first cadet, second in inspection, and third in armed and unarmed platoon. They also placed in a very difficult knockout competition. Portage Robotics recently hosted their Girl Empowerment Summit. The young ladies in grades 4 through 12 met with a group of 15 local professional women who provided our students with stories of inspiration that will empower them to be successful in their futures. The 8th grade Project Lead the Way students recently completed an assignment in which they created prototypes of playground equipment that is modified for children with special needs. Some of the modifications to the equipment included handicap accessibility, hand grips, and safety harnesses. The JROTC students participated in the commissioning ceremony of the USS Indianapolis at the Port of Indiana. The cadets helped with some of the final preparations for the ceremony and enjoyed being part of the historic event. Teachers from across Portage Township schools participated in a professional development on setting rules and procedures during last week's Late Start Wednesday. The staff at Myers Elementary spent their morning that day sharing ideas and learning more about learning walks, which provide teachers with a way to grow professionally by observing and learning from their fellow teachers. Middle schools, Willow Creek Middle School's Spellbowl team has qualified for state finals after placing 4th at last week's area competition. The team will travel to Purdue University on November 16th to compete at state. Ms. Fuller's 6th grade English class has been corresponding with pen pals from Kentucky. This activity has allowed the students to practice their writing skills while learning valuable interpretation skills. The kindergarten students at Powell Elementary School have been learning about rhythm and notes in music class. Using bongos, bongo drums, tambourines, the students play rhythms by the following notes in keeping a beat. Bagley Middle School hosted their family fun night recently, which served as their Title I event. Our Bagley students and their family enjoyed dinner, games, sports, photos, friendship, and fun. It was a great night that celebrated literacy and the importance of spending time together as a family. Willow Creek Middle School 8th grade Project Lead the Way classes hosted their pool toy showcase recently. The students worked together and problem solved to create functioning pool toys and a commercial that advertised their device. The 6th and 7th grade students attended the showcase to learn about the projects and see what they could do in POTW class in 8th grade. Congratulations goes to PHS senior Brandon Cooper, who was recently accepted into the Navy's nuclear program and received a large sign-on bonus. As a result, congratulations to Brandon, who serves as an inspiration to his peers in the NCJROTC program. Willow Creek Middle School students and staff recently celebrated their success in the quarter one with a dance-off. While there, the students also listened to a performance from the orchestra and learned about the importance of balancing work and play. Ms. Miles' class from Ellsworth Elementary recently completed their unit on pumpkins. After completing your project on pumpkins, the class traveled to Kotler's Farm to investigate pumpkins and see them up close. The students at Bagley Middle School celebrated Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October by wearing pink. They also added the names of those who have fought are fighting breast cancer to their pink warrior wall. The 4th grade class at Myers Elementary recently attended Mighty Acorns Field Trip. They spent the day canoeing around Lake George and removing invasive species from the wooded areas and around the lake. The Porter Bots team recently participated in their first competition of the year, and they are already seeing success. Team M earned a Tournament Excellence Award, qualifying them for state. The night in the museum in Washington, D.C. in the U.S. Nationals. Team K earned the Judge's Award and placed 4th in skills. Team Z did a great job in some early wins in the tournament, and Team A finished in 8th qualifying. All of the teams qualified for the elimination round, and Team A made their way to semifinals. There are some important things coming up for our Portage students, families, and staff. The next PTS mobile market will be held next Thursday, November 14th at 4 p.m. at Portage High School, Doria. Everyone is invited to take home a selection of food. All you need is your proof of Indiana residency, a bag or boxes to carry all your goods. The Portage School Resource Officers are hosting a Fall Into Fun with the SRO's Family Night on November 21st from 6 to 8 p.m. At the PHS Fieldhouse, families are invited to join our SROs for a night of the Carnival Games demonstration by the Porter County Sheriff's Department and a spaghetti dinner fundraiser from the Porter Bots. Yum. The Portage High School Thespians will present their fall play. Check please on November 22nd, 23rd at 7 o'clock at night. At the PHS West, tickets are currently on sale in the PHS bookstore.
Well, thank you, and that was one of our many interns that we have for marketing, giving us the good news for Portage Township Schools and problem-based learning at its best right there. So thank you, Mrs. Evers-Lowry, for facilitating that. She did a great job, a lot of great things going on. Does anybody on the board or the superintendent have anything under agenda adjustments this evening? Hearing none, we're moving to new business. Information for open enrollment for health insurance. Dr. Alanes?
This is strictly informational. There is open enrollment that has just begun for the health insurance so that any employee who is eligible and wants to participate in open enrollment for health insurance can do so for 2020.
And those need be has already been informed.
Yes.
Thank you. Discussion of the ISBA annual membership dues. Dr. Alanes, before we start with that, this is something that every school district across the state of Indiana partakes in. It also allows the school board then to become a body or members of the National School Board Association for no charge. It's something that there's two attorneys that we do have free legal advice, and I could probably state, if I'm not incorrect, from Mrs. Alanes, that we probably use them more than any other legal counsel that we have hired.
Yes, that is accurate.
And it is for free. And they do obviously keep up with legislative, any policies now. They actually do the policies for the state of Indiana. So any federal or state law or suggested policies, they will give to school boards across the state of Indiana also. Mm-hmm. So, and that's something that we will have to vote on. Do we have any other discussion?
No, other than it's a great organization. It's been very helpful for all of us on the board.
Mm-hmm.
for certain procedures, policies,
Yes.
and advice. So with that, I'll make a motion that we approve the annual membership for the ISBA.
I'll second.
And they also hold free retreats too for school board members for professional development, which is nice. So call the roll, please. Mary, would you like to be the secretary till our secretary has a seat, please?
Sure.
Just, it doesn't matter.
Okay, trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Vasquez,
Yeah, she's a, that's
trustee Maleta,
Yes.
trustee Clancy, yes, trustee O'Crisco.
Yes, thank you. Next, we're going to move on to.
Before we go any further,
Oh, sure.
since trustee Vasquez missed the video, could we make sure that she gets a copy of that?
Absolutely.
Because there was a lot.
Good
it
news
was too
video?
many.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
Sorry,
I just want to make sure, I thought is it not on here?
I didn't see it on.
I don't think that's.
So can we make sure that that's archived down here
Sure.
also?
Mhm.
For any internal and external stakeholders so they can watch that?
Sure.
too?
We'll make sure that happens.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Maleta, for noticing that. Next, we're going to move for, we have to have a motion and a second for the resolution. It's a resolution of the School Board of Trustees of the Portage Township School Corporation regarding the support for public education. Do we have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll second. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and read it. Whereas it's time to stop depriving our public schools, and whereas it is time to listen to the constituents of Indiana. Whereas it's time to focus on the children of Indiana, our children, and whereas Indiana needs to increase the funding for K-12 public education by nearly $1.5 billion a year to catch up with the surrounding states. And whereas teachers in Indiana are the lowest paid in the region as compared to Illinois, Kentucky, Michigan, Ohio, and Wisconsin. We do lose teachers to our neighboring states because of that. And whereas necessary funding and actions to ensure competitive salaries within a reasonable amount of time, and whereas time to stop draining resources for public schools while increasing funding and voucher options for private for-profit schools, ultimately decreasing dollars available for public schools. And whereas strong public schools are necessary in order for every child to learn and succeed, regardless of where they live or the income of their family. Therefore, be it resolved that the Portage Township School Corporation supports its own teachers and those around Indiana in public schools and will work to enlist the support of community members to ensure that the future of public education remains in the hands of the community which it serves. Be it further resolved that the Portage Township School Corporation will promote increased awareness of the importance of keeping our teachers in the schools and recruiting persons to enter the teaching profession by providing increases to teachers. Be it further resolved that the Portage Township School District will encourage and ask our local legislators to support our schools and teachers by dedicating a portion of the state's $2+ billion surplus to offer competitive salaries for teachers. Now therefore be it resolved that the School Board of Trustees hereby stands in support of public education. Indiana legislators have a responsibility to all children, and they must prioritize public schools of Indiana and acknowledge the dedication of our educators and the financial means needed to provide the highest quality education for all children. We hereby declare that Monday, November 19th, 2019 to be Portage Red for Ed Day, and encourage the entire community to join us by wearing red to support our teachers and public education, while our district educators join others throughout the state of Indiana to rally in support of our students in the need to appropriately fund public education. This resource was passed and adopted on this day. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Trustee Finley?
Yes.
Trustee Clancy?
Yes.
Sorry. Trustee Vasquez, yes. Trustee Maleta?
Yes.
Trustee O'Crisco?
Yes. Dr. Elenes, did you have any comments?
I just want to thank the board for the passing of this resolution. As we know, it's all in good conscience that we all know that dollars for public education need to stay with public schools. I also want to just thank those who are taking that opportunity to go rally at the State House, and I will also be down there as well as many administrators to be standing alongside our teachers and support staff during that day to support the efforts of teachers across the state of Indiana, parents, community members. As you're aware also, Dr. Stevens was in my place last week at the governor's cabinet meeting with legislators on these very issues, and we will continue to be extremely active as we have been in the past and will continue into the future. So thank you.
Thank you. And then, once this is signed, you can sign it tonight, Cindy, so you can get it down to the State House. Thank you. There is no old business, so next we're going to move on to board development. Myself, as far as a legislative update, we do have a federal flash this evening.
Through college. The House Education Committee passed a rewrite of the Higher Education Act, and both the nation's report card and ACT's annual report on college and career readiness show decline. Hi, I'm Monica Almond, and I'm joined by Ann Heisler. Let's begin with Fast Track. Ann?
Senators Maggie Hassan and Todd Young introduced the bipartisan Fast Track To and Through College Act. The bill would fund competitive grants to states to rethink the 12th grade by giving college-ready students the chance to either graduate from high school early with a scholarship or enroll in a full-time load of dual enrollment or AP and IB courses that constitute the freshman year of college. To get a grant, states must also have policies to ensure the credits will be fully transferable to a state's public 2- and 4-year colleges and universities. And it would allow federal Pell Grants to pay the cost of dual enrollment for students in these fast-track pathways, so more historically underserved students can benefit. The bill is supported by us here at All for Ed, Education Reform Now, and several other organizations. More information on the legislation is available at the link below.
After 3 days of debate on nearly 50 amendments, the House Education Committee passed the College Affordability Act on a party line vote. As we discussed on the last edition of Federal Flash, the bill would increase funding for federal Pell Grants, offer free community college through a new federal-state partnership, strengthen accountability in higher education, and much more. Democrats and Republicans see the bill very differently. Upon passing the legislation, Committee Chairman Bobby Scott said, quote, "A quality college degree remains the surest path to financial security and a rewarding career. Accordingly, we must fulfill the promise of making higher education affordable for all students."
On the other hand, Virginia Fox, the committee's leading Republican, said that the bill advances, quote, "the same tired idea of throwing more money into the existing system and hoping that this time things will be different is the very definition of insanity. Government overreach and unnecessary intervention has contributed to a bloated post-secondary education sector at the expense of students," end quote. The legislation now heads to the House floor, where it is expected to pass by the end of the year.
Last week, results were released for the National Assessment of Educational Progress, also known as the nation's report card. Results are in for reading and math for 4th and 8th grade students. The good news is that most racial and ethnic groups scored higher in both subjects and at both grades in 2019 compared to the earlier 1990s. The bad news is that compared to 2017, the most recent year for which we have test results, scores are either down or haven't changed for nearly all groups of students. 31 states showed a decline in 8th grade reading between 2017 and 2019.
The most concerning finding may be that gaps are getting larger between high and low performing students. Broadly speaking, performance increased or stayed the same between 2003 and 2009 for students of color and low income students, whether they were high performers or low performers. But between 2009 and 2019, performance has consistently declined among the lowest performing students and gone up for higher performing students. This chart from the nation's report card summarizes this trend for 8th grade reading. More information is available at the link below.
Also last week, ACT released its annual report on the condition of college and career readiness. Among ACT test takers who made up over half of the graduating class of 2019, 37% met at least 3 of the 4 ACT college readiness benchmarks. 1/3 of tested graduates who took what ACT calls a minimum core academic curriculum met all 4 of ACT's college-ready benchmarks, compared to only 16% of tested graduates who took a less rigorous course load.
The ACT report highlights serious gaps in college readiness. 47% of white students met 3 or more college-ready benchmarks in 2019, compared to 23% of Hispanic students and 11% of Black students. Each of those percentages represents a decline from 2015. You can read the full report at the link below.
That's all for today. For an alert when the next federal flash is available, email us at alliance@allfored.org. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. And with
Federal
that,
Flash is the Alliance for Excellent Education
that being
video
said,
series.
Cindy, can we make sure those are attached also, in case anybody would like to go back and look? Okay, they are? Good, perfect. And then as far as the policy, we're still looking at dates, and the same thing with the buildings and grounds. We're looking at dates to meet. Mr. Miletta, anything on yours?
No, the park department actually meets next Monday, same time as our school board meeting.
Trustee Vasquez, do you have any report this evening?
We will be meeting tomorrow, the 12th. Currently, though, we're promoting the sale of the tickets for the $500 club. So the cost of the tickets is now $25 instead of $50, how it was in the past. So there will be 3 winners every month in the amount of $250, $150, and $100. So I encourage everyone to consider purchasing these tickets. Thank you.
Trustee Clancy, Redevelopment Commission.
I don't have an update from the redevelopment commission at this time, and we haven't had a finance meeting.
And where's our grant in the process? Where's that at? I know that we had asked about that last.
Right, I believe there was some paperwork.
Yes,
that-
the paperwork Mrs. Langren gave me today, where all of that has been gathered and completed by Nick Braun and the finance team. So that's actually going to be scanned first thing tomorrow morning.
And then what's going to happen with that?
Then at that point in time, Trustee Clancy takes it to the RDC.
And when's that meeting?
That I don't know. Do you know
Usually the
next-
4th Thursday of the month, right?
Yeah, I can get that date for you. I know the November meeting was rescheduled, I believe, so.
Because that's a public meeting, so if they're going to be putting our, and we're not going to ask for the standard.
Right, yes.
And what's the most we could ask?
I believe
for?
it was 500,000 is the most we can ask for.
Okay. And it was a percentage of,
I think that when the percent was
Okay.
figured, I think that's what the dollar is.
all right.
But I will double check on that and get that information to the board.
Trustee Finley?
You just gave the update on the policy.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Alanis, do you have anything under other this evening?
Again, I just wanted to thank the board for their support with the resolution and appreciate that that will be sent down so that our legislators can continue to hear the voice of the community within Portage Township. As I shared with you as well, I'll be attending the rally at the State House alongside those who attend, as well as many of our administrators, as you know, our teachers, support staff as well. The only other item I had for you was regarding the concept behind the teachers' perfect attendance bonus, and what we had discussed was that those teachers attending the rally on November 19th, that we were not going to jeopardize that perfect attendance bonus. So that was the only other thing that I had for you, and again, I think it definitely shows the support for those who are going down and making it known that, you know, local governance and accountability measures that are fair and equitable for our students, and prioritizing public dollars for public education is a priority in this city and township.
Does any board member have anything under other? Does anybody in the audience have anything? No? Hearing none, this meeting's adjourned. Quick meeting. Thank you for attending.
Yeah.